June 28, 1756, the city of Calcutta, the crown jewel of British Empire in India, has just fallen. The Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Dowlah, has captured Fort William, and according to British records, 146 prisoners were forced into single tiny room, just 18 feet by 14 feet, on the hottest night of the year. By morning, only 23 survived. Or so the story goes. The story was told by one man, John Zephaniah Holwell, a British officer who claimed to have survived that night. In his account, written years later, he described a scene of horror. 146 people crossed into a space barely big enough for three. No water, no air, men screaming, fainting, dying. Holwell became a hero in Britain. The story spread across newspapers in London. It became the defining image of Indians as cruel, barbaric, and it gave the British Empire a perfect excuse to come back. And come back they did with Robert Clive. And the Battle of Polachi just 1 year later in 1757. Calcutta was recaptured. Bengal was never the same again. But here's where it gets interesting. Historians in the 20th century began to ask hard questions. If 123 people died in a single night inside Fort William, where are the records? Indian accounts from that period, Mughal court documents, none of them mentioned this massacre. Not a single one. Even the British records from Calcutta at that time are strangely silent. The only source is Holwell himself, a man who, remember, had every reason to paint the Nawab as a monster. Historians like H.J. Little argued that the numbers were widely exaggerated, or the event was entirely fabricated. Some believe perhaps a much smaller number of prisoners died in the heat, a tragic accident, not a massacre. Others believed Holwell invented it whole death. The truth we never fully know. But one thing is certain, the black hole story shaped how British justified its conquest of India for the next 200 years. And here's the most fascinating footnote of all. There is a monument to the Black Hole of Calcutta. It still exists right here in this city, but almost no one visits it. It's tucked away, faded, crumbling, barely acknowledged. When India gained independence in 1947, the British government wanted this monument placed somewhere prominent. But the new Indian government refused it. It was moved, hidden, almost erased. Think about that. A monument built to commemorate what might be a myth. In the city where it supposedly happened, now stands forgotten and alone. This is the real Black Hole of Calcutta. History, they say, is written by victors. And in 1756, the British needed a villain to justify a war and found one. Whether the black hole was real, exaggerated, or invented, its impact on the city was completely real. It set in motion a chain of events that would make Calcutta the capital of an empire, the birthplace of a nation, and one of the most complex cities in human history. And that is where our story is just beginning. I am Shagnik. This is Calcutta Chronicles. Every street has a secret. Every stone has a story. Subscribe this channel because we are just getting started. Thank you.